Now we're moving into word problems. When solving word problems, you can choose to do it with either a proportion or the equation. I'll show you how to set up both and then we'll just solve one. Our question asks us, at an auto shop, it has 500 truck tires in stock, of which 10 are defective. Which percent of the tires are defective? I prefer to pick out all my important information first and label what it means. So, if I read through my problem, I see 500 truck tires in stock. So that must be a whole. Then I see that 10 are defective, which will be my part, and we have to find what percent are defective. So that is our unknown, or our x. So to set up the proportion, we have our proportion of a percent, unknown out of 100, equals part of the tires, defective tires, over the whole amount of tires. For our equation, it is a percent, which is unknown, times the whole of 500 equals our part, which is 10. And now I'm going to solve the proportion for this problem. To solve that, we're going to have to cross multiply. 500x equals 1,000. And when I divide by 500 on both sides to solve for my x, I end up with x equals 2. However, remember, story problems, we should have sentences for our answers. So, what does this 2 mean? This is 2% of tires are defective. Because that is what our question was asking us. What percent of tires are defective? That is my final answer. Our equation over here would have gotten you the same thing. Our next story problem says, for dinner, I need to make 103 cupcakes. However, that was only 21% of the total cupcakes I ended up making. How many total cupcakes did I bake? So, I made 103, but I'm not sure if it's my whole or my part yet. I see 21%, which is obviously my percent, of cupcakes I ended up making. How many total cupcakes did I bake? Total cupcakes, that's a whole. Which then, by deduction, I can say that the 103 cupcakes are my part. Now that I have all my information, it's just a matter of setting up my equation and my proportion. For my proportion, start with my percent. 21% is 21 over 100. That equals my part of 103 cupcakes out of my unknown whole. For my equation, remember it is percent in decimal form, so 21 hundredths, times the whole, which is unknown in this case, equals the part, which is 103. And this time, I'm actually going to solve using my equation. Remember that the proportion would give you the same answer. So I have 21 hundredths times x equals 103 for my equation. To solve, I have to divide by 21 hundredths on both sides, and I get x equals 490 and 48 hundredths cupcakes. However, because it is a story problem, you can't bake a portion of a cupcake. And so I'm going to just round down to my nearest whole cupcake and say I ate the rest of the batter. So I baked a total of 490 cupcakes total. Our final problem today states that 6% of Butler Middle School students enjoy sledding. If there are 987 students in the school, how many students like to go sledding? Once more, I'm going to pick out my important information. I see my percentage of 6%. And then it says there are 987 students in the school. So in the whole school, that's going to be my whole. And then how many students like to go sledding is my question. And that's only a portion of the students. So that's my part. Remember, it's only 6% of the students like to sled. So we're going to set up both the proportion and the equation and then solve one. Proportion, I like to start with the percent. 6% can be written as 6 over 100. And that equals my part, which is my unknown, over the whole of 987 students. For the equation, we take the percent in decimal form. So 6/100.06 times the whole of 987 students equals the part. And for this one, I am going to solve the equation. Remember though, the proportion would get you the exact same answer. So 6/100 times 987 equals 59 and 22/100 students. However, once more, you can't have part of a student, and so we're going to round down to the nearest whole student. So we have x equals 59. So that means that 59 students enjoy sledding. And remember, word problems need to have their answer in a sentence.